Over the next 15 minutes, we will be going back to the Pacific Northwest to review the 49ers Rockland training camp, as well as San Francisco's preseason schedule completed this evening. Also ahead, we will recap, of course, the final exciting moments of that 49er exhibition win with Ray Wersching's field goal, which won it. Also ahead, a special report on the California football team, 100-plus young men who started this fall trying to make that ball club, and a report from the Sagi United States Open. Tom Nettles, though, spent this evening on the sidelines. All right, the video, better late than never, as we said. We're going to go back there to the Pacific Northwest. We'll have the Cal report and also the United States Open. And wait till you see the weather they enjoyed this afternoon, as well as a victory for Jimmy Connors over San Jose State alumnus Hank Pfister. Tom Nettles spent this evening on the sidelines of the Kingdome. We shift now live to Tom, who is in downtown Seattle. Tom?
Yeah, Gary, as we said, it was a very spirited ball game up here in the Kingdome as we're trying to get ready and get a light on me up here. A lot of good things for the 49ers, a few bad things, probably most notably a lack of pass rush, and that got them into some kind of trouble. But in the end, they won the football game. We said before it would be spirited, and it was. It was almost played like a regular season game, especially the first three quarters. They end the season, the 49ers, the preseason that is, 3-1. Next week it's to Minnesota. That counts. That's going to count a whole lot because the 49er fans really do expect a lot out of their 49ers. Not because they were 3-1 in the preseason, but because they're Super Bowl champions. And not just because of that, but it's the way, the convincing way they did it last January at Stanford.
Doing a number on the Miami Dolphins.
Their near-flawless performance in Super Bowl 19 was a lesson of total domination of the ground, of the air, and of the mind. And as the final seconds ticked away, the only question left unanswered was what the 49ers might do for an encore.
And I'm looking forward to just going out and just playing hard-nosed football.
The addition of rookie wide receiver Jerry Rice was the first step to Super Bowl 20 in New Orleans. His presence could give San Francisco the best receiving corps in the NFL. Rice is sure to be another lethal weapon among Joe Montana's arsenal. Outside of Rice, however, there were a few surprises. As camp opened in Rockland this summer, the media had to dig for stories. Jack Reynolds had gone from shoulder pads to a T-shirt. Guy McIntyre was absent because of personal problems. And Ronaldo Nehemiah was placed on the injured reserve, his football future in grave doubt. About the only serious competition among starters existed at linebacker, where Mike Walter battled a summer heat with Jim Fawnhorst. But in the first three preseason games, Walter won the job over a sideline Fawnhorst. Last Saturday's lopsided win over the Chargers didn't win a starting job for quarterback Matt Cavanaugh, but it proved to the 49ers once again that there can be life without Joe Montana. The 7-year veteran has completed better than 60% of his passes and is arguably the best backup quarterback in the league. But he plays behind the best in the NFL, and if the 49ers are one of the teams in New Orleans on January 26th, it will be Joe Montana leading the way. Besides, Montana's got a date to keep.
See you, Dan. Joe, next year, I'm buying.
Next January 26th. Interesting that Dan Marino is not in camp with the Dolphins. He's a holdout. And Joe Montana, well, you know that he will start next week. I talked to him earlier, and he says his back is much better now. He hasn't run yet. He'll begin working out, and he'll be ready to go. In Minnesota, we'll be there next Sunday on the sidelines, as we will be all season long. Gary, that's it from Seattle's Kingdome. We'll go back down to you.
Okay, Tom, thank you very much. Have a nice, safe trip home.
All right.
The Los Angeles Raiders, they're on the victory board, 26-7 tonight in Cleveland before over 44,000 fans. The Raiders now 1-3. One other football note, David Greenwood, an all-USFL defensive back, joined Anthony Carter and jumped to the National Football League. Greenwood joins immediately the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We will shift our attention to tennis, this country's most prestigious event, the United States Open, being contested in Flushing Meadows, New York. San Jose State alumnus Hank Pfister. We will pick him up facing the Bellevue Battler. You're looking at Jimmy Connors, who has claimed this title on 3 different surfaces. He's the boss, you know, when it comes to returning serve. Maybe no player in the sport's history has sent it back any better than Jimmy Connors. He sends Pfister packing in straight sets 6-3, 6-4, and 6-2. And then the rains came. The rains came. Heavy rains near tornado conditions. We will show them to you here as Connors wraps it up here and closes a set of perfectly placed lob. Tornado conditions caused injury to 4 spectators and forced play to be suspended almost immediately. Pam Shriver was also a winner today. They will try and pick up the United States Open tomorrow in Flushing Meadows, New York. Straight ahead on this post-game sports special, the Major League Baseball story, plus an inside look at the trials and tribulations of trying to make a collegiate football team. We will be right back.
this eagle could land in trouble. The high point he might decide to rest on could be dangerous. Unaware that 13,000 volts await him, he heads toward it and lands, unharmed. Wooden platforms above power lines now keep him above danger. They were developed and put there by a lot of people whose work brings them to this remote area. Do people really reach that high to protect a natural wonder? People do.
I found a place where we can put up a cabin.
I'd like to see it.
When you've got to go places where the road comes later, whistle for the 1985 Toyota 4x4, the most powerful small truck ever built, with the highest running ground clearance of any small 4x4. No wonder it's the best-selling small 4x4 in America.
They plan to put a road in?
You care?
What an amazing sight.
It's even more dazzling than I remember. There's the Empire State Building. What's the matter?
They're not here. The traveler's checks. They're gone. The traveler's checks.
Excuse me. They have one of those refund machines, American Express, at the airport.
They weren't American Express.
We've got no money. Welcome to New York.
Only American Express can give refunds of traveler's check machines in most major U.S. airports. Don't leave home without them.
Does it pay to call and stay in touch? For our company, it was worth $12 million. In 1973, we wanted to take Neutrogena public, sell stock. So I called my friend Bob McCabe, who's an investment banker in New York. Bob's my unofficial advisor. For years, we kept up a relationship over the phone. He told me how to go public, and we did. It pays to stay in touch. Millions.
The most successful business calls are personal.
Watch our new Center 4 Sports Special live right after the game.
Hey, thanks, Tom. We're here. We could have saved the plug. Who told Tom to say that? Was it you? It was his mother. Okay, Don Sutton moved another step closer to the Hall of Fame this evening. Sutton recorded the 293rd victory of his career, number 13 on the season. Oakland keeps their faint divisional title chances alive, 8-3 in Detroit over the Tigers. We have the Angels and Yankees going at it. In New York, 22,000 fans plus. See a fellow named Jack Hall take Marty Bystrom the opposite way, 2-0 California. You ready for a little history? Reggie Jackson, who, so many times delivered here in the Bronx. Reggie, the 1,000th extra base hit of his career. Rod Carew scores. The Angels defeat the Yankees tonight 4-1. Elsewhere, California now leads the Royals by 2.5 games. Kansas City a loser to Texas. Toronto wins. They're now 5 up on New York, and Baltimore shut out Seattle. The Giants and Mets, as we speak, going on in Candlestick Park. We'll, of course, have highlights for you on our 11 o'clock news. Let's pick up the Cards and Astros. St. Louis in a red-hot pennant race. A fellow named Denny Walling always seems to hit pretty good. A line shot off the third baseman's glove. Home comes a run for Houston. 4-1 Astros. Then Glenn Davis will uncoil. Away back to left field. Houston knocks off St. Louis, playing the spoiler role. That final is 7-5. Elsewhere, Cincinnati shut out Pittsburgh. Pete Rose 0 for 2. He's 8 hits back of Cobb in the third inning. The Dodgers 2-1 up on Philadelphia. The collegiate football season opens tomorrow in Berkeley when the California Bears host the Spartans of San Jose State. Joe Kapp has ended his fall-long controversy, naming Kevin Brown to open a quarterback ahead of Brian Bedford. But our focus tonight is not about any one individual, any one position. Photographer Ken Swartz gives us an up-close view of 100-plus young athletes attempting to earn a spot on the California football team.
Every play is full go. Every drill is full go. And you just got to do the job. I don't think the mental stress is that hard. I think it's the physical beating that you take. That gets your mind, that gets you a little sour up in your head. You got to do more than survive. You got to go out and accomplish. And once you do that, that's when it really feels good.
It's time to get up. Watch you look bad.
Wake-up calls at 6 o'clock. We're on the street by 6:30. We either usually run up to the stadium, either you lift twice
Coming
a week.
off not such a good season last year, we wanted to have a different mental approach, both as a staff.
We practice during morning meetings by 9:15 on the field.
Trying to instill the unity concept and
Back in meetings at 3:45, on the field at 4:30, off at 6:30.
This is the toughest camp he's ever been around. And when I played here, I owned that check at 10.
The day isn't over yet. Still got another one to go.
Well, it's from Monday to Sunday, and it's 16 hours a day. Football. And that's what camp is all about.
Smile, we're warm, man.
Yeah, it's real tough. And anybody who says it's not's a liar. The intensity level, to get your intensity up every day is tough. You know, that's the hard part, I think. I mean, you get beat up.
I'm going to put 10 yards on this ankle. And this is bad, and I'm going to put about 15.
Need to protect him. The guy's got a big defensive lineman. He's got to get ready to go out there and hit somebody.
Everybody's weary, I'm sure. There's a lot of people who are, tired, but you have to keep on going because you know that, there is that final goal is the Rose Bowl.
Even though I enjoy it, it's hard to always stay up. I enjoy the challenge, yet I'm not quite to the position where I can be at 100% all the time. Because, in high school, like, maybe I dominate most of the time, but here it's like I'm getting run over for the first time. It's big change.
What I see in a 3-a-day or a 2-day practice is that the fun is harder to find in practice. What was funny and kind of joking 3 days ago, now it's not so funny.
When you go out on that AstroTurf twice a day, that stuff is real tough on your legs. And then we've been on the streets in the morning, so I don't think you can beat up your body too much. You have to realize you have 11 tough games to play, and if you so it's kind of a fine line, I think, on how much you can do, how much is productive.
Good job. All right.
You see everybody walking around doing their own thing, and you're there stuck in the stadium running around and working out, and like sometimes you wish you were at the beach or just doing something else, and it's tough because you just put all that time and effort into it. It's worth it, but it's just like once in a while you just wish you could just take a day off, and you really can't.
Sit. Get up. Hard, low. Hurry.
The best thing you got is your leverage if you're down low.
Too much pressure. Come on back.
It's like they push you, but they don't push you too far. I think that, a lot of players, have their ups and downs. And I think that's to be expected. And it pushes you hard enough. I think that's the key to any training program, is just getting in shape and getting ready to go. But I think that's the whole thing that, Coach Cap is trying to pull us together. Because if you work with somebody for that long, then you know that person's going to be by you when you're on the field, and you're going to need to know that he's going to be there to throw that blocker to make the tackle.
Going to be on Broadway.